Welcome back, Tribe. I have an episode here from Thomas. I can't work a 9 to 5. Let's see if he cracked the code.
Before I started my own agency, I
He
used to
did.
do a lot of gig work like Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats, stuff like that.
DoorDash, Uber Eats, all that. He's a hustler.
And I did that every day. And a lot of my friends would tell me like, why don't you just get a job, like a 9 to 5 job? You're working all these hours doing this every day. You're better off just getting a job. Like you'll get paid more. The pay is more consistent.
Bots.
And I remember I told all of them, I would rather, do what I do and make 35 grand a year than work a 9 to 5 sitting in some office and get paid 100 grand a year.
Tell him.
And like when I told them that, they all said like, oh, you're crazy. You're insane. Maybe, maybe. All right. In this video, I wanted to take a couple steps back and kind of just tell people my story of what happened to me after I turned 18 and what my mindset was like back then, which kind of got me to start my entrepreneurial journey, which I guess led me to where I am now. But long story short, it's pretty much I can't work a 9 to 5. So for me, I didn't know what to do after I graduated high school. Like I barely graduated high school. I had bad grades. I couldn't get into any of the colleges that I applied to. And at the very last second, I had to join like a community college. And my mom told me that if I can just find a way to graduate college, she could get me a job working at a bank as a bank teller. Like she knew someone in the banking industry and she told me she can get a job there if I can just graduate college. So my plan was like, okay, my goal is to just go to this community college, study really hard, transfer to like a university or a Cal State, graduate there. And then after I graduate, I'm going to work at a bank for the rest of my life. And then I thought about it, work at a bank for the rest of my life. Like something about that just sounded kind of depressing and sad. Like I'm not bashing it. By the way, I'm not bashing anybody who works a 9 to 5 or who works at a bank. It's actually the opposite. Like I have so much respect for people who can do this because I can't.
Well, it's not a respect thing, bro. It's, look, the brutal truth is for the entrepreneurs looking at people doing the 9 to 5 thing, we or they think those people are insane for choosing the safe route. And they will go in the comment section and go, not everyone can be a business owner. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur. You could work for yourself, though. You can be self-employed. You don't have to have a fucking sprawling business with 100 employees, bro. But you could teach yourself a skill where you can market and work for yourself. You could be a carpenter. You could be a plumber. Be an electrician. You could be something. You could be a business by yourself. You're the business. We're not taught any of this in school. We're actually just taught how to be good worker slaves. Go get that worthless piece of paper. Hopefully a company hires you, pays you pennies on the dollar, won't show you any loyalty. And then every 2 years you have to switch just to get a decent raise and they'll never respect you. And you're treated as like a number on a piece of paper while the boss buys his 8th yacht. And, that's life. You do that until you're 65, 67, probably 70 in a couple of years when they raise up the retirement age again, and work till you're dead, slave. And keep on keeping on. Just show up to work. Oh, and then we'll give you a week, maybe, for a vacation the whole year and like 2 sick days. So make sure you don't get sick either. Fucked up. But okay. It sucks because we try to tell people like, look, man, that steady paycheck is kind of death to your financial freedom. Although it seems like it's nice to have something consistent and a company to pay you, that's the exact thing they use to crush your dreams, your potential, because you're never going to want to step out of that comfort zone. I like the life I live. It's kill what you eat. Life of an entrepreneur, you only make what you put in. All right. So some months are great and other months are absolutely terrible. It's extremely stressful, but I think it would be worse to be in a cubicle dying a slow death where your soul is sucked out of you every day. I rather stress out.
I physically can't do it. Like the more I thought about it, the more I thought about like how this was going to be my life. Like the more I started to panic. This is going to be my life. This is going to be what I do for the rest of my life as a bank teller sitting in front of a desk, typing in numbers, doing the same thing every single day. So from the very beginning, like something just didn't sit right with me. And I used to work at as a part-time cashier at this one cafe. And I still remember to this day, like vividly. But there was one day where I got home from working a full day shift on a Friday. It was 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I was working from opening to close that day. It was a full day, and I was dead tired. And I remember like I got home, and that Friday was the day where I received my paycheck. So it was a 2 week paycheck. It was like $450, I think. And I remember
Oh,
like
that's
I was
nice.
excited. Like I was dead tired, but I was looking at my paycheck of four hundred
Yes,
fifty
sir.
dollars, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to spend this. And then I was like thinking of all the different things that I can buy, whatever. Like I was lying in bed, dead tired, sleepy, tired, and just thinking about with my eyes closed, like what I would do with this money. Like I was holding the check, lying in bed like this, because to me that was a lot of money. But once I got past that phase of thinking about what I can buy, I started to go a little further and start thinking about like, okay, I'm making $450
Hmm.
every 2 weeks working at this part-time job. That's $900 a month, right?
That's where you do that do math and you're like, fuck, man, I don't make enough. I'm never, how do you get ahead? I can't even afford an apartment, groceries, entertainment, taking a girl out on a date. Fuck, that's not enough. I remember sitting there when I was in my part time job just wondering, how the fuck am I going to make it in life? Like, this can't be it. I'm seeing my coworkers, they're like 40, some 50. The manager's old as shit. He only makes like 40,000 a year. Plus, he has a college degree. He's fucking broke. He comes in the sales store with the goddamn hoopty. And I'm like, is this peak? Is this the absolute limit of what we could achieve here? Are we done? That shit scares the crap out of you, man.
And I was only working like 3 days a week, I think, at the time. So I was like, okay, if I can ask for another work day per week, I can probably up this to $1,000 instead of $900 a month. So $1,000 a month, for a broke high school student who just graduated, like that's a lot. So I was like, okay, let me do this for an entire year, $1,000 a month. Let me save every penny. And I started to get like motivated. I was like, let me start to think of all the things that I can buy with $12,000. So I went from thinking of about what I can buy with $450 to like, let me work for an entire year, make $12,000. Okay, now I'm thinking about what I can buy with $12,000. So I was excited. But the more I actually thought about it, like the longer I was lying in bed just thinking about how I was going to spend the $12,000, the more confused I got. Because I was like, sure, $12,000 is a lot of money, but there's not a lot that I would want to buy, first of all. And also, I'm working an entire year, taking drinks, taking people's orders, making drinks, sorry, and taking people's orders. Like, I'm already this tired from working one day. Like, can I even do this? Like, is this worth $12,000? And then I started to think about like how people are actually making like a full time living, making all this money. And then I thought about it. I was like, okay, jobs, that makes a lot more sense. Like, I'm working at a minimum wage. I'm working a minimum wage job at a cafe. Like a 9 to 5 office job is different. Okay, these people are making 40,000 to 80,000 a year. Some high paying jobs, higher paying jobs like doctors, lawyers, they're making hundreds, $100,000 a year. And that's a successful job. That's a successful life. And I was like, okay, now I get it. So I need to go. My goal should be to aim for these types of jobs, like these 9 to 5 jobs. That should be my goal. So then I started to think about what my life would look like once I start working a 9 to 5, like an office job, like just sitting in front of a desk, typing in numbers, filing paperwork, just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I was like, I don't want to work in an office. Like, it's already this stressful working at a cafe. And all I'm doing is just taking people's orders and making drinks. And I'm already this stressed. Like, imagine a full time job. You're telling me that I have to spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, doing the same thing over and over again, working for a company that doesn't.
That's the part that sucks. He's not really stressed out. What he's trying to say is that that's the part that drains your soul, doing the same meaningless task over and over and over again. There's no fulfillment in your work. It's just kind of a dead end. You're a machine, bro, a biological machine. You just go in there and repeat the same meaningless tasks until your brain just wants to blow up inside your own head. That's the soul crushing part of this, because nobody minds having a job working for somebody. But if you have some impact, if you can make a difference, if your job is meaningful, then that's incredible. We all take pride in that. But so much of the work we have today is like that draining your soul, busy work, looking busy, not really doing shit, repetitive tasks. Like, that doesn't inspire you at all, man. That just sucks the life out of you. That's what we're talking about. How many people actually have jobs that they like, that they can make a difference, that they have an impact? Not many. That's the problem.
Don't care about me. And honestly, like I don't care about the company either. Um,
Yep.
but you're telling me I have to do this for the rest of my life? Like, is this really the only way to make a living, to make money? Like, is this the only path that's available? And this was when like my confusion level started to reach like its peak, and my confusion slowly started to turn into anger. Like I was like, wait a minute, how are there millionaires in the world? Like,
Hmm.
I understand celebrities, I understand athletes, and these musicians, these professionals. Like those people are making millions of dollars. Like, cool. I understand like all these actors, these world level athletes, whatever. Cool. I'm not talking about them. But I was like, celebrities aren't the only millionaires in the world. There has to be other people that I don't know about. These normal people that have millions of dollars, that have all this money. Like, how are they doing it? Do they have like a job? Do they have one of those, successful $100,000 a year jobs? So I was like, okay, maybe this should be my goal. Because for me, I needed a goal. Like, I needed to know what path to take. So I was like, okay, I work really hard and then I get one of those $100,000 jobs. So let's assume that I somehow found a way to live for free. I don't pay rent. I eat for free. I drive to work for free. I don't spend any money on clothes, on insurance, nothing. I have no bills whatsoever. And then on top of that, let's assume that I somehow found a way to avoid taxes. I found a cheat code or a hack. The government can't catch me.
Yeah.
Somehow the entire
We're doing like the greatest calculations of all time, dude. Just like, I'm somehow gonna avoid taxes. No, you're not, bro. You and even in that most perfect case scenario, he can't make it happen. So yeah, we gotta do some lateral thinking here.
$100,000 a year that I make, the salary that I make,
Not
I
tax.
keep all of it for myself. I don't have a single expense, and I
Uh-huh.
save, and I somehow find a way to save
Somehow,
every penny.
still not enough.
It will still take me 10 years to reach 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
10 years of slaving away, working at a job I hate because I know I'm going to hate it, saving
Yep.
every single penny, not paying a dime in taxes, working at this supposedly successful top tier job.
Mm-hmm.
10 years of that. And I have 1 million. There are multi-millionaires out there somewhere, billionaires. Like, I'm not even going to get into that because I couldn't even that wasn't even a thought that went into my head. I couldn't fathom it at that point.
Mm.
But there are multi-millionaires out there, these normal people. Like, let that sit. Like, I don't know about you, but that made me so angry. Like, I got up from my bed. Like, keep in mind, I was dead tired. Like, I just came back from working a 12-hour shift. I was lying in bed, eyes closed, ready to sleep. But as soon as that thought came into my head, like, I just couldn't sleep. Like, I got up from my bed and got in front of my computer and I started to type, like, all the ways to make money, how people are making money in their sleep, how millionaires become millionaires. Like, I was so angry and upset at the fact that my entire life I was told that I need to be striving for this 9 to 5,
Mm.
that the whole purpose of me going to school, going through all these things that I went through, learning all these things, whatever, to reach the pinnacle of life, to have a successful life, I need to work towards this 9 to 5. This should be my goal. And then there are people out there making millions of dollars, and these guys don't work a 9 to 5. Like, there's no way. Like, I wanted
Yep.
to know what they were doing. Like, I didn't sleep for 2 days. 2 days. I was just in front of my computer, angry, researching.
Dude, I did the same thing. I was broke, post high school graduate, nothing to do. Took a couple years off of college, not educated, working a part time dead end job. I was just Googling what makes people millionaires? What do millionaires do? What industries could you go in to become a millionaire? What skills pay the most? Just Googling, bro, hours upon hours trying to figure out what skill can I learn? What can I do? How can I become better? Until finally you start to get little crumbs, little answers.
Like, I've never done anything like this in my entire life. Have you ever angry researched before? Like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're looking for. You're just upset and you need to know. So you just research. Like, you don't care about anything. You're hungry. You have people calling you. You don't care. I need to find an answer to this. I'm going to find it. So, why am I mentioning this story? It's because if there's one thing that I learned over the past couple months posting on YouTube, it's that there are a lot more people like me than I
Hmm.
actually thought. People who think like me, people who go through similar thoughts and similar situations. Like I'm just a normal guy with extravagant thoughts. There are
Not really, bro. It's just like a risk aversion. Some people are extremely afraid of risk. Any risk whatsoever, they avoid it. So they get stuck into the 9 to 5 trap. They will accept being the company man forever and will live a mediocre life. And by all means, they'll cope to themselves and say, that's great. This was my potential. I did my job. I'm putting food on the table. But you were capable of so much more had you taken a little bit of risk, had you believed in yourself, invested in yourself, took a chance. You would have gotten so much farther, or maybe you wouldn't have. But at least you get a definitive answer. I could not live with myself not knowing, so I had to try. At least try. If I fail, I know I'm not cut out for this shit. Cool, dude. I gave it my best. I didn't dip my toe in. I went in 100%, and we'll see what I'm made of. Thankfully, I succeeded. But if I would have failed, it would have been okay too. I would have just went back to like a normal 9 to 5 and be like, bro, I tried the business shit. I had some ideas. They didn't plan out. I went into it 100%. No bullshit. No like 50%. No slightly dipping your toes in case it fails. You got a way to cope out of it and say, it wasn't for me. No, bro, 100%. All the accountability if I failed would have fallen on my shoulders. And sure enough, dude, it works. When you apply that kind of faith in yourself, you tend to get rewarded by the universe. That's a scary step to take because everybody wants the answer. Everybody wants security before they step into the unknown. But that's the point of the unknown. It's never secure. Beyond the veil is where all the riches are. Just people are afraid to step beyond that veil. Sucks because, everybody's got some talent and some skills that they can make money off of. But society convinces people to be cogs in the machine at best.
other normal people out there who have the same thoughts that I have, but before they get into it or before they actually do anything and take some action, they were told by someone else or they tell themselves that it's not possible. It's possible. Like it's real. Like I'm sitting here now telling you that it's real. Find the right people you trust, obviously be careful, but find these people, like whether it's me or somebody else, and learn from them, like implement their strategies. And you can change your life. You can change your life. You can make money online. Don't listen to anybody else that tells you any different. And another thing that I realized, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes for you to start.
Yeah.
The longer you wait, the harder it becomes for you to start. Like whatever it is. Like I'm not saying, to quit your job or anything like that, but like what do you want? What is it that you want in this life? And what are you
For all the young guys that are watching this, now is the best time because as you get older, when you get a woman or you have a family, taking some of these risks will have real consequences for other people. Right now, you could absorb a ton of losses. Quite literally, you could bankrupt yourself and it's okay because you can build back up. It's not an issue. The lesson is in the attempt itself. That's worth all the gold in the world. Not the money you'll lose, not the failure itself. That's all that shit's irrelevant. It's just teaching you a lesson because you might learn something that on the next idea, once applied, will make it successful. And that's your breakthrough moment. But doing all of this when you're older, time is a little bit running out for you. Your funds are limited, or you got a family to answer to, shit like that, responsibilities. Yeah, man, it's not going to be, you're not as flexible. That's the truth. So, for some of the older guys, they've tried and succeeded and changed their lives. For others, it's unfortunately too late. Maybe you have, some responsibilities. You just can't take that risk at the moment. But for the young dudes, be risky. Be risky. And I don't mean stupid risk like quit your job and shit. Work at your part-time job. Work at the dead-end job. It's okay. And hustle on the side until the side hustle earns you enough income to quit your job. And then you go balls deep, full 100% commitment into your side hustle. And that becomes your business. That's really the plan for everybody. We live in a weird-ass gig economy anyway. Dude, the world isn't doing hot. Neither is the United States. The economic situation sucks. I mean, think of it like this, man. Everybody has a side hustle or some sort of gig that they use to supplement their actual job these days. Like, I know almost everybody I was talking to, like some people are just doing Uber on the side. Others are door dashing. Others are buying used shit from Craigslist and flipping it. We all have to supplement our income these days because the pay doesn't add up to the inflation. We can't keep up with this shit. The economic realities force you into this position. So why not go this route anyways? The 9 to 5, man, the old corporate structure that our parents had, those days are gone. You can't show loyalty to corporations. They spit you out. You could put in 20 years. 20 years, and once you reach that less than that, 10 years. Once you reach the upper band of what your position pays based on your seniority, they're already looking to kick you out of the company. Just 1 foot out the door already. The company's just looking at you like, bro, give this guy a fucking swift kick in the ass, hire some other moron to do his meaningless, repetitive task that's at the lower entry level of the band of what that job would pay for. You become a liability to them because your job doesn't actually matter in terms of how good you are at it, because it's a repetitive task a monkey can do most of the time. They want to replace you in those situations. Now, if you are some sort of expert, like imagine you're this wizard coder or maestro in like carpenting or, some shit like that where you just can't be replaced, right? That's when you can demand the upper band and they can't get rid of you. You're more valuable to the company based on your unique skill set than whatever it is that they're paying you. But if you're doing something meaningless and repetitive, like say a warehouse job, and you've been doing that shit for 20 years and you're in the upper band of the pay range, they're looking to replace you whenever they can because they can just train up another monkey to do the same shit. That's unfortunately what's happening to a lot of people. Companies are realizing like loyalty, what for? And that's why we have the high turnover rates that we do and the low pay. Or you'll have the shit. Look, how disrespectful is this? You're putting in 20 years at a company and some new guy comes in and he's making only a few dollars difference. Bro, you did 20 years at a company and the new hires got the same pay as you? How the fuck is that even fair? Like, how demoralizing is that? That's crazy.
Currently doing to get there. So it turns out I'm actually pretty close to monetizing my videos and putting ads or getting paid for ads or whatever. And I never planned on turning this on because I don't want ads on my videos. But it turns out because I watched one of my videos on a separate account and I got ads on it. So it turns out there's already ads on my videos and I didn't know that. Like I thought I had to turn this on for there to be ads,
stealing money.
But apparently not. So I wanted to ask, like, because I don't want.
See what the comments say. My biggest thing with the 9 to 5 grind is the fact that you're limited on time off, vacation days, etc. I'd rather make less money and be able to take off whenever I wanted. Time is more valuable than money, 100%. Every rich person I knew uses money to buy time. Only poor people do the reverse. Doing the same thing every day like a robot. This is the reason why I hate 9 to 5s. There's a lot of us out there like you. I'd rather be homeless living in a van than work a 9 to 5 the rest of my life. I never felt so seen. I'm 33 years old after working my ass off for over 15 years pursuing higher education at age 30. Did everything they tell us to do to reach a better life. I'm dead in the water, still in poverty, with 2 kids, with special needs, miserable. I'm determined to find my way out. 9 to 5 jobs like going to school every day, and I hate school. It says, bro, you're not crazy. I grew up in a state-run foster home with nothing, went to college, got out, started making $130K a year, always thought money bought happiness, but it's definitely not true. I work so much that I can't even enjoy the money I make. Jesus. I've got $160K saved, and what I've come to realize is once you can cover your basic needs, shelter, food, gas, everything else is just extra. Do we need to sacrifice our lives at work for extra shit? Everyone's answer is different, but for me, I'm learning I'd rather have more free time than money. I agree 100%. There's an age-old story from Mexico that describes it perfectly. An American investment banker was at a pier of a small coastal Mexican village when a small boat with just one fisherman docked. Inside the small boat were several large yellowfin tuna. The American complimented the Mexican on the quality of his fish and asked how long it took to catch them. The Mexican replied, only a little while. The American then asked why he didn't stay out longer and catch more fish. The Mexican said he had enough to support his family's immediate needs. The American then asked, but what do you do with the rest of your time? And the fisherman said, I sleep late, fish a little, play with my kids, take siestas with my wife, Maria, stroll into the village each evening where I sip wine and play the guitar with my amigos. I have a full and busy life. The American laughed and said, I'm a Harvard MBA and I could help you. You should spend more time fishing. With the proceeds, buy a bigger boat. With the proceeds from the bigger boat, you could buy several boats. Eventually, you would have a fleet of fishing boats. Instead of selling your catch to a middleman, you would sell directly to the processor, eventually opening up your own cannery. You would control the product, processing, and distribution. You would need to leave this small coastal fishing village and move to Mexico City, then LA, and eventually New York, where you will run your expanding enterprise. The Mexican fisherman asked, but how long will all this take? To which the American replied, 15 to 20 years. But what then? Asked the Mexican. The American laughed and said, that's the best part. When the time is right, you would announce an IPO and sell your company stock to the public and become very rich. You would make millions. Millions? Then what? The American said, then you would retire. Move to a small coastal fishing village where you would sleep late, fish a little, play with your kids, take siestas with your wife, stroll to the village in the evenings where you could sip wine and play your guitar with your amigos. The Mexican replied, but sir, that's what I do right now. Oh, that's a great one to end it on. Amazing comment there. Puts things into perspective. Let me know what you guys think on the episode below. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. They're always suppressing us. Follow me on the second channel if you haven't, guys. Appreciate you. And join us in the private community for some calls. Take care, everybody.